Folks, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness podcast. My name is Jordan Dahl.
I am Roger Norquist.
Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by Monstroco brand Memory Thinner. This 90-proof, aged, rye-based beverage is the cure for memories. You feeling sad, angry, scared? Just apply Monstroco brand Memory Thinner directly to the dome and kick those emotions right down the road. Monstroco Memory Thinner. That's tomorrow guy's problem.
I like it. I've been trying to get rid of a number of memories that I've accumulated as of yet.
They do come back.
Okay, they do come back?
They come back about for the first couple hours. Boy, I don't know what they've come across here, but it makes you feel okay.
Listen, I'm a modern man.
They come back the next day and they hurt.
Yeah. I'm a modern man, and I'm just looking for a few hours of relief.
Okay, then Memory Thinner is for you. Right to the dome.
Jordan,
mm-hmm.
may I stop the goofing for a moment, because I have some news for us on this Werewolf Radar.
I can see it, dude. I can see it in your eyes. I can see that you're serious.
So in Spanish,
and Espanol for our multilingual listeners,
we have an impressive light that they saw. I got photos of it.
Oh, whoa, crazy.
Look at this shit from the sky. Look at this shit from the sky.
Whoa, dude. That's crazy.
Like, I was thinking when I was reading this, practicing my Spanish, which I do on paranormal articles.
That's great, man.
I came across this and the photos on this. So I'm using Opera GX, and I don't know where the translate button is. I think I found it. Translate.
Look at that.
Here we go. So we don't make any errors, but always take translation with a million grains of salt. It is an art, not a science that a robot can do. But a photographer saw a mysterious light in the Clemente Ornelli illuminated. Anyway, translation. I was trying to find out where it is.
Thinking, Raj.
Say what?
This is a great way to practice Spanish. Good thinking.
Indeed. At least you're reading and whatnot.
Yeah, read up salad, you freaking morons.
But an Eva Diaz took this photo, and it is crazy. Like, I've seen lights. I've lived in cities my whole life, as you pretty much have as well, Jordan.
The cities are full of lights.
I've seen a helicopter light doing the search, you know?
Yeah, we got searchlights. We got those spotlights that they put on the clouds to tell you there's a pop-up party happening here. We got police sirens, headlights, the bat signal. The city is full of lights.
This is a crazy focused light. Like, even more so than the bat signal.
Like something out of this looks like a search and rescue party, but more so it looks like more powerful than a flashlight, than you know what I mean, than a spotlight.
It's so focused. Like, sure, there's some diffusion, but look at that beam. Look at that thick ass beam.
All right, hit me with the tail.
Try to zoom in. It broke it. So the episode occurred around 4 a.m. in the morning. Eve had gone out with a friend to photograph the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're into photography,
beginning to a UFO encounter, I had just made some lilac tea, and jasmine was on the breeze.
He said, every time I approached the entrance of the town, I saw the light, but I thought it was a sign that is there. And I didn't give it much importance. So there's already a bright sign that's there.
He thought it was something that he's seen there before, right?
Indeed.
I don't know about this person much.
That lightning bolt fell on a mound. The light was very intense. So, of course, not lightning bolt, but a beam of light hit the mound that we saw the photo of.
Mm-hmm.
First, it was red. They wanted to take the photo of it, but then while getting their phone out, it turned to the white that we see right there.
Was it ever amber Or green, because that's a traffic light.
Maybe one that needs a different bulb because it's
Yeah.
definitely draining too much power from the
Oh
electric
yeah,
grid.
a malfunctioning traffic light that blinded 3 kids.
But
That's
no,
our
it
fun
it
answer.
it it starts red, no blinking from what I can see, but it starts to glow into a powerful uniform white light. So maybe a softer red and then going into that white. It could, as the one of the people said, they thought it was a sign that they see all the time, which would
Right.
explain, a soft red glow, but then just bam, beam. Let's go look at the beam again. Everyone stare at my beam.
Beam. It looks like a lighthouse.
Yes, but once again, a malfunctioning one that's going to blind 3 captains and still crash
Tourists.
a
Yeah.
bunch of ships.
Just cut a ship in half. I'm over here.
So that's the news. I don't know what to think about it, but it's been something to legitimately something weird. I've seen searchlights before. This is too powerful. This thing's fucking, as you said, just destroying and blinding whatever it's pointing that light at.
Interesting.
Yes.
So we got lights, we got powerful beams coming from the sky in Mexico. That's a ping on the radar for sure. We're looking into it. We're keeping an eye on it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a little update too from the world of news.
Ooh.
Last week, you may remember if you listened to last week's episode, Barack Obama told us that aliens are real, just like we knew all along. He said it. He meant it. I'm sure.
Not nonchalantly. He said they're
And this
real.
week this week he clarified his
they're
statement.
not in Area 51.
To the sadness of everybody.
Boo!
Yeah.
Boo!
Obama has since clarified his views on
hope
aliens.
and then
This is
change you talked about?
This is from scientificamerica.com. He gave us the old hope and change.
Yeah, he gave us hope and then changed it around.
Obama has since clarified his views on aliens after his podcast interview caused uproar, saying in an Instagram post that, first of all, Obama's on Instagram, followed.
Yeah, but it's nothing but butts. His butt, but butts.
Followed. He said that he, quote, saw no evidence during my presidency that extraterrestrials have made contact with us. Really? The assertion that aliens are real, the former president said, was a matter of statistics. Quote, the universe is so vast and the odds are good that there's life out there, he wrote, but the distances between solar systems are so great that the chances we've been visited by aliens is low.
Yes.
He sure didn't say 0, did he? We're back in the game, baby.
Hope.
Everybody grab your hopes and put them way high up.
It's what I believe, because that Fermi paradox nonsense doesn't hold up water. It's the distance and travel that like most physical bodies can take is like, no, we're never going to say hello, but sending some beams that take a couple years to get there and, having long range correspondence with an alien race is still a possibility. Did you ever read The Left-Handed Darkness? This deals with this. Ursula K. Le Guin, one of my favorite writers, fucking crazy leftist bitch. Learn about her. She'll radicalize you.
Nice.
And in Left-Handed Darkness, they have a Star Trek, essentially, a federation.
Oh, cool.
But time travel works, or space travel works the way it does, to where like we can send someone and they will get there, but 1,000 years have passed at the Federation's home. So they're doing diplomacy that might not even matter anymore. And you're not returning. You're signing someone up for a Federation for a federation that they will really never meet but get benefits of. It's a fascinating book.
That's crazy.
Anyway, yeah, proper communication to where we're having sex with aliens proper. It's not happening, guys.
Hey, now nobody said that. You can keep your various DeviantArt tabs open for now, folks. However, because of that, God Emperor Donald Trump
God Emperor.
graced the people with his voice like music, and he actually, it was so funny. His response was like, "Ugh, Obama, he shouldn't be saying that. That's a big secret. But you know what? I'm gonna help him out. I'm gonna go ahead and get him off the hook." And he that was his vibe going into this announcement. On Thursday, US President Donald Trump announced on his social media platform, Truth Social, that he would direct the Department of Defense and other federal agencies to, quote, begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, and unidentified flying objects, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters, as they might distract from the Epstein files. So that he's now on board. And he's doing disclosure to pwn the libs.
Pwn them.
And yes, do it. Oh, I dare you. That's fine. I hope they release the alien files, and I hope they prosecute every alien in them, even the liberals.
The older same. I like how that's a threat to be like, I don't give a fuck. I guess everyone's going to jail.
Man, what if the alien files come out and it just turns out they were also going to the island? Oh no.
I always like that It's Always Sunny version of it, to where like, sure, the island had Frank has gone to the island, and there's a lot of stuff happening on the island.
Yeah,
and there's some people fucking turtles.
Yeah, there's other parts of the island.
Chris. Becomes a whole thing. You know, you've seen the show.
Anyway, there you have it, folks. Alien Files Gate is still active. It's clearly a dog wag from the president's ongoing litigious troubles, shall we call them. But I mean, hey, dude, if you got to drop this to get people to look the other way, I'll watch this, but I don't think it's working, pal.
No, if anything, it's kind of people more suspicious.
Yeah. Generally speaking, when someone asks you a question and your response is like, "Do you love smoke screens?" and then you throw a pellet down, that raises some eyebrows.
But also with the whole alien everything and disclosure and the possibility of, like, let's say that we have been in contact with aliens, like just like now, the government, if they had alien anything, they would use it to suppress the people, and we would know about it. It would be like Half-Life 2, and the aliens are like the oppressive force. Here's your future guns, oppress the people.
I think, yeah, right. I think, wow, that's a horrifying thought. I guess it depends on what kind of aliens we're talking about, you know. I like to think that there is advanced life that can think in a way that is this is going to sound bad, but less emotionally informed. Emotions are important, but
of course they tell my dick when to get hard.
Very much, you know. And now we're walking that dangerous line between, like, would, you know, eliminating, you know, an AI running human society would be able to make the hard choices that we cannot. And it's like, well, that's what makes it human society, is the feeling and the willingness to help each other behind it. So we won't go into that. But I forgot what I was talking about. Completely forgot.
Emotion in decisions with aliens, right. And
I do like to think that there is a force out there that could come down and show us how to do it for good, and not just come down and be like, "Oh, you want to dominate? This is how we're doing it."
Yeah, this is how we keep the masses at bay, and then it's like a hive mind chip, and then things become easier.
I sort of suspect that those are the reasons that those societies get destroyed.
The hive mind?
Well, no, just the one that's like, this is how we dominate. This is how we conquer. Uh, as opposed to like, this is how we exist and this is how we coexist.
Listen,
Uh,
listen. You, my
woke
friend, need to get in contact
alien.
with the Beanites.
Ah, the Beesonites. That's
Yeah,
right.
never forget the Beanites.
That's true.
Like I did, and I called
Well,
them the Beanites, and now I'm no longer on their good list.
I could be wrong too. Speaking of emotions, Roger, would you mind if I go first?
Go first. That wraps up our news segment. Everyone mark it.
I would like to take the speaking skull who's had a hard few days and just give it a nice cup of tea and wrap it up in a little blanket and tell it that everything's going to be okay again.
Okay.
Because I over the weekend, Nicole and I had to make a very difficult decision to euthanize our dog.
Oh.
Harmony, she lives forever. She's one of the best dogs I've ever met in my life. And I'm forever changed because of her. And as a result, I wanted to honor her a little bit with a segment about ghost pets. Do you think we could do that?
I do.
We should talk about ghost pets. There is a chance this is too sad. Now, Roger, if it's too sad, you can tell me.
Yeah, no, you're good.
But I would like to talk about.
I held back every emotion to make a little stupid joke while you're saying that because I thought maybe you were joking because I got sad.
No, it's very sad and it was the right thing to do, but we're pretty shredded. So now she lives forever and RIP Harmony. So
wait, you made her into Mecha Harmony? Jordan, stop it.
Well, yeah.
She's too powerful.
She's a brain and a robot dog now, and she has laid waste to 7 city blocks.
She just wanted to play, guys. Don't be scared.
Ball vaporizes the front wall of the PetSmart.
Oh,
Sensing ball. So folks, come with me on a little trip down the rainbow road, if you will. We might encounter some emotions, but we're gonna do okay. We're gonna be okay. Memento mori, all of that.
YouTube's about the emotions now. Have you ever seen any of these recent YouTube essays and shit where they're just crying throughout the whole thing?
I don't know.
I saw one about M&M's, dude, that made a lot of sense. I teared up.
People are incredible. People make incredible art, and I am amazed by them every day.
Be amazed by yourself, buddy. You're doing it now.
Hey, we're trying. So we're gonna go over to Reddit and we're gonna listen to some real ghost stories about people's pets. So this is a post from 3 years ago, titled, "Does anybody have any true stories about encountering animal spirits? That is, if you believe that animals have spirits." Of course they fucking do. They have more spirit than any of us.
I believe, by the way, I've discussed it before. Spirit. I discussed it last week, I think.
About seeing a pet?
Yeah, one of my pets, we had to aggressively put down. It had a knife. It's a whole thing. Don't worry about it. But days after, I felt its breathing, like I heard breathing, like it's panting while I was sleeping around me. It was very weird and a little bit heartwarming, but very weird.
Yeah,
like I felt a presence next to me.
Time and existence are not what we think, my friend. We simply don't have the cells to comprehend it all. That's what I believe. So SD Hanks fan 619
nice, good name,
responds, "I lived in the top half of a duplex when my cat Ina, pronounced Ina because she looked like a hyena, got run over in front of my house. RIP Ina. I buried her under the tree in the front yard, which is about 12 feet from the downstairs front door, which was vacant at the time. A month or so later, a single lady and her toddler moved in, and the child would bang on the screen door and point to where the tree was and yell, Ina. It could have been gibberish, I suppose, but it would say a lot. Freaked me out.
I think that's very specific gibberish, but once again, this is one of the sounds that this language acquiring child has. So, like, it's going to be repeated until.
This also implies that the cat ghost could talk, which I like that. I like that. I like that when pets come back, they get to talk.
Oh, yeah.
This one is by account deleted.
Nice.
They say, I have a few, actually. We had 2 dogs and 2 cats. One of our cats got sick, had a fever, and decided he wanted to sleep in the bathtub, probably because it was cool. I don't know, but that's where he wanted to be for the weekend before I could take him to the vet. Sadly, he died in the car on the way to the vet. About a week after he died, I was sitting in my office near the bathroom when I heard my dog bark. It was a happy bark, like my husband was home. Suddenly, both dogs and the other cat came running down the hallway and dove into the tub. They tore down the shower curtain, but all 3 of them were in the tub. My dogs hate getting a bath. They have never willingly gone in the tub, but they were happy and wagging. The only way I can explain it is that my cat came to say goodbye to his buddies, and they were overjoyed to see him. Years later, after the other cat died, I saw him, and so did the dogs. I was watching TV when he ran by. It wasn't even shocking because that's just what he did when he had the zoomies, so it didn't seem out of the ordinary until it hit me that the cat had died weeks ago. The dogs chased him into the kitchen, so I know that they saw him too. But of course, when I went into the kitchen, all that was there was 2 dopey dogs. Last story might get long, so I apologize in advance. My dad and my stepmother had a Mastiff. Dad had passed 5 years prior to stepmom. Stepmom was very depressed and wasn't taking care of things like she normally did. We found out she had cancer and was placed in home hospice care. My sister called a house call vet to come see the dog. He could barely move and was in pitiful shape. The vet said that the dog had horrible hip dysplasia, a bad skin infection, and was in a lot of pain. We didn't want to tell stepmom she was dealing with too much already, so the vet gave us meds to keep the dog comfortable until stepmom died. They were both in hospice care at the same time. The day after stepmom passed, the vet came back to put the poor dog out of his misery. The following day, we began the task of cleaning up the house to sell it. I washed the windows in the living room, ran the vacuum, just small things to keep busy. When my sister and I came back the next day, there was a giant paw print on the inside of one of the windows that I had just washed the day before. My sister razzed me. You missed a spot. I laughed it off, thinking she must be right. A few months later, we had an estate sale at the house. It was in the backyard when a customer pulled up. She got out of her car and said, "What a beautiful Mastiff. What's its name?" I was dumbfounded. My sister asked, "Where did you see a dog?" The lady answered, "Laying on your front porch. Can't miss it. It's huge." When I went to look, there was no dog there. My sister told the lady, "Oh, it must have been the neighbor dog who decided to go home," but we both knew he was there. So in answer to your question, yes, animals have souls and do come back to visit.
Yeah, hell yeah, they do. I like these stories. I like the Mastiff. I was gonna say it could be the neighbor's one, but no, they're like, no, that's our dog. We had a Mastiff. Don't tell her it's haunted. Just say it's the neighbor's dog. We need to sell this house.
Me and my wife both swear up and down that our childhood pets visit us. We both randomly get nostalgic feeling of being with them and seeing things out of the corner of our eyes. Just kind of one of those things when you walk in a room and you just know that someone's there checking on you. I also think that animal spirits protect and live in the forests and ponds where they lived. Somebody responded to that. That was posted by Burt Reynolds' Mouth, by the way. And nice. Halloween Master 96 responds, I always found with animal spirits fascinating. I always found stories with animal spirits fascinating. And yes, animal spirit can be good protectors. I have heard of that. I know when I lived in an apartment, I was laying down petting one of my dogs, and I could swear I felt a cat rush by my face. Why there was the spirit of the cat in that apartment, I do not know. I've had a few experiences there, plus one of my relatives believes our upstairs neighbors could have been devil worshippers. And sometimes I think my grandma's dog that passed away back in 2010 occasionally visits the house. They had another dog that passed away in 2020, but since then she has not reported whether or not he has come to visit. Sorry, that's kind of just a response. Okay. Wise old chicken says, I have two. When my black lab Rudy died, we had him cremated. When I went back to pick up his ashes, I decided to walk home. In the shop windows, I noticed the reflection of a dog, and it appeared to be following me. I stopped and turned around, but there was no dog. As I turned to continue home, I saw the reflection clearly in a glass window. It was Rudy. The second time wasn't home. I went to the fridge and noticed an odd reflection near my knees in the door. It was dog-shaped and tan. It resembled my dog Daisy, who had passed away a week before.
Dude, they come back just like normal ghosts. They want to say goodbye, or it's some residual energy. Like,
Yeah.
Animals got a certain energy plants don't have, and that's why we don't see plant ghosts.
That's so interesting. This next comment is a person that goes on to say, hang on, I lost it again. That was really interesting. For animals, I debate if it's soul or spirit. Plants and typically things that don't have working innards like rocks can have a spirit. Soul and spirit are different. Most of the time, that spirit is just asleep, even if, say, a tree is flourishing. Animals, well, I'm not usually around them much, and I have heard a few tales of animal ghosts, but I don't know. Long explanation. Everything does, quote, speak, just not with sound. My specialty is more so inanimate stuff. Disagree. Animals have souls. They're better than us.
Animals, first of all, there is no soul.
Yes, there is.
No, there's not, or else I'd be
Sure.
devouring them.
No, maybe you are.
Oh, that's why my that's why my lady looks so sickly as of late.
Yes, exactly. So this is from actually 4 years ago. This is a different post on our Paranormal by Drumboxy Thing, who asks, has anyone here thought they experienced the presence of a pet's ghost? I've been thinking back to a year ago when my dog died. In the months following, I would sometimes feel like she was still around, and occasionally I thought I saw her in my peripherals. After I hadn't seen anything or felt anything for about a week, it felt like I was finally past my grief. I don't know for sure, of course, but I kind of wonder if she was around for a while, then moved on. Anyone else had a similar experience? Just Thank You says, yes, absolutely. I've told this story on the subreddit before, but when my first dog had to go after a long struggle with debilitating arthritis, I was devastated. My upstairs neighbors sent their Chihuahua, who often did sleepovers with us, down to spend the night with me the first night. She was an amazing cuddler and a great helper. That night, I had an extremely vivid and slightly weird dream. I dreamt of my dog running pain-free down a beach with Adam West in his 1960s Batman outfit looking on, hands on his hips, nodding in approval. Mr. West died the day before my dog. I woke up and had that was weird moment. I went to the bathroom, moving the Chihuahua from between my legs. When I opened the door to the bathroom, my dog's favorite ball, the only toy he ever played with, rolled across the hall. Sorry.
You're good.
There was no physical way that could happen. I lived in a cellar with little to no airflow, and I had left the Chihuahua in the bed behind me. There was no one around. I was filled with the certainty that he was telling me he was okay and was waiting for me.
Oh, lovely. Way more heartwarming than what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah.
And Adam West was in the bathroom.
Yeah. I've always been a believer in the paranormal and have had other experiences I can't explain, but that was the one that convinced me 100%. Since then, I've occasionally dreamt of that dog in that beach. No Batman, though.
No Batman.
A couple of years later, my next dog got cancer. It was a long fight with a lot of sacrifices on both our parts, multiple surgeries, chemotherapy, hormones, but she was losing and we both knew it. The veterinary oncologist and I decided to stop treatment and just try to keep her as comfortable as possible for the next couple of months, with the end coming. Around that time of my decision, I started having vivid dreams that my first dog and the old neighbor's Chihuahua, who had passed about a year prior, were in my little studio apartment. The dreams were always like, oh, I better put some extra food/water out. Very matter of fact to my dream self that they were both just staying with us. Then one night I was sitting on the couch and it was getting late, so I decided to go to bed. I grabbed my phone, and as I did so, I hit the side button in the way that turns on the camera. This happens a lot, so I instinctively moved my thumb to shut off the camera, but in less than the second it took to do so, I very clearly saw my first dog jumping off the couch on my phone screen through the camera lens. It was
Ooh.
so quick and so weird that even before it registered mentally, I had turned the camera back on, but I couldn't see him, of course. My sense of it all is that my boy and his cousin, the Chihuahua, knew my girl with the cancer didn't have a lot of time and came back to get her, which is why I kept dreaming of them in the apartment and saw him on the camera. It will be a year since my girl with the cancer passed this coming week. I'm hoping to get a visit in my dreams or something from her to mark the occasion. I miss her so much.
I would like dreams like this to where I see
Right.
pets, versus the old hag that I dream of, or the
The spider.
spider that I
Yeah.
dream of, or that one time I dreamed that someone was digging their elbow into my back and that wouldn't stop until I was completely like elbowed, through my
Right.
whole
Oh,
rib cage.
ugh.
These
That's
sound pleasant. These
that's
sound nice and
horrifying.
heartwarming.
You know, I know you don't smoke weed, and neither do I, and we never would. But I know that smoking pot messes with your dreams. So maybe if somebody is having trouble dreaming, that's a place they could start. Not us, though.
Not us though. We're already there. We're
Yeah,
experts in not smoking pot.
totally. We both got dare certificates.
Mm-hmm.
I
Actually, it
signed it.
was it was a big thing at my outdoor lab because I didn't finish my dare certificate program, so I couldn't do
Funny.
like the group assembly. So
That's
I
so
had to
funny.
skip the group assembly and just sit out in nature, enjoying nature, doing like a coloring book about
Oh
drugs.
no.
Like,
Oh,
oh,
bummer.
how sad. I don't have to
Yeah,
sing
don't
the
throw me
national
in the
anthem
briar
to the
patch.
squirrel.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, just thank yous says, yes. Oh no, this was the one I just read. I don't want to cry at that again. um, Lizette Forever says, I just visited back home at my parents, caught up on a lot of stories. Their last dog was a goofy, sweet half pit and half black lab. The dog pound must have seen my mama coming in that day. Anyway, my mom asked them what Butch would grow taller if Butch would grow taller than 12 inches. These people said he would only be 6 inches tall. Anyway, my parents keep Goofy Butch for 10 years. He grew to almost a Great Dane proportions and had the distinctive python looking head. I truly can say he was a gentle giant who hated weed whackers, clothesline drying, especially nightgowns with long sleeve shirts. Poor Butch passes away, but was loved to the end. He was an excellent watchdog and no one fucked with him. Last year, Butch has been gone 2 years at this point. Their neighbor called my dad and said, did they get a new dog? Because while my parents were out, he saw what he thought at first was Butch walking around the house. Since the gate was open, my parents left the metal gate open for the carport. He went to check. He followed the dog around the house. The home is small. The dog vanished once it made it around the corner. The man had walked back to the gate, no dog. Several other people seen a black dog patrolling the house while my parents were away. If they try to get the dog out, the dog disappears. Just old Butch continuing to protect my parents.
Hell yeah, that's a mission. That's a fun afterlife,
Good boy.
Simple, none of this running from the Hat Man bullshit. Just protecting the house, doing what you did, just doing what you loved.
I got two more for you.
Okay.
Okay, Deleted writes, I was 8 years old. My best friends had just moved away, and I was super sad. Mom got me Boots the kitten. Every day, Boots waited for me looking out the window for when I got home from school. She slept with me every night, though it was hard for her to climb on my bunk bed. When Boots got older, my mom started letting her outside. One day, while we were home from getting groceries, I heard my mom gasp hard. She saw what I didn't. Boots had been struck by a vehicle. I was devastated. That night, when I was crying myself to sleep, I was curled up in a fetal position. I always laid on the top bunk next to my window, and the moonlight was shining through. I heard scratching on the wood of the ladder, but ignored it. Then I felt pressure behind my knees of a kitty curling up. She always slept there, too. I twisted my upper body so I could get a look behind my knees without moving my legs. There she was, in the moonlight. Kind of see-through, but I could see her clearly. She was shimmery in the moonlight. I was shocked, blinked, and then she was gone, and the pressure was gone. I'm 33 now, and I know the difference between a hallucination, imagination, and an experience. And that was an experience. I almost cry every time I retell this story.
Listen, I was doing a bunch of drugs when I was 33, and I can't tell you the difference between reality and fiction. So don't talk all snooty to me like you can tell what's reality.
This is the last one I'll tell. This is from Worldly Ad 3264.
Okay.
It was like 3 weeks after my cat's death. She was a big, long black cat with thick, short hair and a round face. Pumpkin was her name. At the time, I had another black cat named Normal, but she had some white on her chest area. She was also smaller and thinner than Pumpkin. We also had a kitten, Rose, who is a tuxedo with a bright pink nose. We got her after Pumpkin passed away. I slept with my mom on a weekend. I woke up like 8 a.m. I slept with my mom on a weekend. I woke up at like 8 a.m. with Rose sleeping in my lap. I saw movement and I watched as a black cat walked under my mom's desk. No biggie, just normal. But I watched as the cat kept going into the wall and literally faded away into the wall. I was really confused. I thought maybe Normal had blended into some black laundry in the corner or something. Then looked down the hallway and Normal was sitting on the rug we had, a good 15 feet away from where I swore I had just seen her. Creepiest thing ever. That's a doppelganger.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just cat stuff, but
this is another one. Not experienced directly by me. My friend was staying the night over for the first time. I was showing her around my house and showed her Pumpkin's photo next to her urn. My friend said to me, that cat can't be dead. And I was like, huh? She died in 2011. It was 2015 at the time, quite a bit after she died. And then my friend said something that scared me. No, I just saw that cat down the hallway. It stopped and looked at me for a good 3 seconds and continued walking. I asked her if she was sure it was Pumpkin, as it could have been Normal. She said, no, Normal has green eyes. This cat had beautiful orange eyes, while pointing to the photo of my dead cat.
Cat's got to double check this friend, see if it's up to snuff.
So there you go, folks. That is a little sampling from the other side. My heart goes out to anybody struggling with the loss of a pet. It is truly, truly hard. They are people and family members, whether we want them to be or not. They become it. And hug your babies.
Hug your babies.
Hug your babies for harmony. Until next time, I'm signing off from this sad segment that I'm calling Trying Not to Crying. With the werewolf and the lion.
I teared up a little bit there. It was hard. It was hard to bring to make it the joke and be like, oh, I need to. I love these stories though.
We got to do it. We got to talk about them. We have to process them. We have to carry their memory forward.
Beautiful segment. I'm going to take the skull now, but before I do that, I also have a picture that I thought is hilarious that I would like to share of you of what appears to be Giorgio Tsoukalos telling comedy.
Fucking hilarious.
It is from the 3rd annual Forbidden Conscious Awards.
And so I said to the aliens,
it has to do with
my
this,
wife.
which I was going to talk about.
Take her far away. She pinches and emotionally abuses me.
Were the new John Graham Hancocks or whatever his name is, I can't remember, is doing some very bad archaeology and saying that a site that has already been excavated is an unknown civilization. So say thank you for me skipping that, and I found a 7-foot tall monster left quills in this young woman's arm.
Dude, what is this?
This is the Monroe
How have we not
monster.
seen this?
I do not know. Noah Wing, thanks for bringing this to us via the Michigan Enjoyer.
Dude, I've never even seen this drawing. I feel like I've seen every drawing, like cryptid encounter drawing.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah, so let's go into this because this story is insane. It ends somewhere you'll never think it does. So
hit me.
The legend of the Monroe Monster began in 1965 before the infamous Bigfoot video. We're talking the Gimli Patterson film after the Bigfoot massacre.
Okay, yes, yes, yes. What would come to be known as the Patterson Gimlin footage, but we all know the truth.
The truth is grim, and
The truth.
sightings around the town continue to this day of this Monroe Monster. As you can kind of see, let's share it again. It's Bigfoot like.
It is Bigfoot like, but I want to hear her description as to why she drew it this way.
Yes, and the quills. Bigfoot ain't got quills. That's a Sonic the Hedgehog thing.
Also, can we just throw this out there? Grandma was a baddie.
Grandma's a baddie. Look at her.
If you're
That's
not
the
watching the
stare of
YouTube
someone who
video,
robbed a bank the week before.
she's bad to the bone. She's a babe. She was attacked by a monster, and she's not going to let it scare her.
So, Monroe, on May 18th, 2025, a man and his son went down to Plum Creek. They heard sirens above them, so the father pulled out his phone to listen to his police scanner app. Suddenly, a large animal thudded next to him. His dog went wild. He turned and could only make out the creature's silhouette before it took up off through the woods and over the train tracks. Monroe had entered the list of towns with a Bigfoot.
I for sure thought that was going to be something way more marketable. The Bigfoot zone or something.
The legendary beast
The
has...
list I keep of towns with paranormal activity.
So this legendary beast has whispered about in Monroe for 60 years. In August 1965, Christine Van Acker and her mother were driving near Cottonwood Creek and went over the same railroad tracks. Because they had a bald tire, they drove slowly to avoid blowing it.
Wait,
So,
where did this happen?
So this is Monroe, Michigan.
Michigan, got it.
And in 2005, there was recently a creature sighting that fits the same description as what happened 60 years ago to one Christine Van Acker. Van Acker, who turned 17, saw a dark figure coming up from the ditch next to her. She slowed down to see what it was. To Van Acker, the figure looked about 7 feet tall. She described it weighing 400 pounds. She, I guess, was a carny who guessed weight, so she was very good at it.
That was her instinct.
Yeah.
Every time. How much did it weigh?
About 400. It hurriedly hobbled over and whacked the car before grabbing Van Acker and beating her against the door.
What?
She reached up to protect herself and received a bunch of quills into her wrist. The creature fled, leaving Van Acker with a black eye. That's right. This thing wrestled her. And I guess left visible scars that we could do searching on. And a 400-pound creature throwing I assume there would be more than just one black eye.
Yeah. So
right away, skeptic mind, I'm thinking this is covering up some DV, some domestic unfortunate.
Sure.
The best excuse to instead of I fell down the stairs was I was attacked by a monster who then inserted quills into my wrist.
Right. This was a place where there was only one-story houses. It was all ranch style. She couldn't use that one. Yeah.
But I mean, the mom and daughter have sworn by this, doing polygraphs, one failed and one successfully. So they seem to believe what they say. And other people have seen similar creatures. There have been 16 sightings at least in Monroe County, and many of them after Van Acker's account. So we have ones before this happened of similar.
Okay, do you have any descriptions of those other encounters? I can look for them real quick.
Look for them if you can.
Okay,
I'm going to go on with the story of written by Noah. Yeah, Noah Wing. Once again, check out enjoyer.com for this and others about Michigan. It seems like a fascinating place, somewhere to enjoy. Now, police had tried to keep everything under wraps, but Van Acker's claim that there were quills on her scratched skin sparked a monster craze. The mother and daughter took polygraph tests, like I said, one on a radio show, which they passed, and the other with police, which they failed. Yet Van Acker and her mother insisted, I know what I saw, and no one can change my mind. Here is a picture of one of the articles, and the title of this article is called Monster Days Are Here Again.
Wow. Wow.
Meaning that this is a familiar thing. Monster Days are here again. This isn't selling monster trucks to Michiganers. This is an article about how the days of the monster have returned upon us.
So I got some other additional information. According to a 2017 article from the website Trenton Trib, several motorists in Monroe County encountered the Monroe Monster on dark roads late at night, but then the sightings abruptly stopped. Some believe that the Monroe Monster was chased deeper into the woods due to the rise of people looking for it. However, again, according to the Trenton Trib, later that year, a gorilla costume was discovered in the woods by a couple of hunters. It was determined to be a costume that had been stolen from a nearby roadside attraction.
That's a good place to bring it back to the Michigan Enjoyer. Where's yours from again?
This is from WKFR, the number one hit music station.com.
The Michigan Enjoyer and Noah bring up that later it was found out that pranksters had placed a 6-foot 8-man figure in a local field, which largely ended the craze related to the Van Acker sighting. And another police officer cynically remarked that Van Acker's red marks was poison ivy. You know, going like, yeah, sure, monster. That's a poison ivy infection.
The quills thing is wild.
The quills thing is wild. And really why I wanted to talk about this one is because that's not Bigfoot. Bigfoot don't got quills. This is something different.
Or does he?
I don't know. We haven't got the body yet because everyone who keeps claiming to have a body is just putting together human corpses,
stitching together gorilla pillows.
That's wild. That same summer, a similar incident took place with a girl driving in nearby Temperance, where a beast fitting this description of the Monroe Monster jumped onto the car, smashed the windshield, and scratched the girl's arms.
Oh shit. Okay. That sounds like what the first guy did too. He's a little handsy.
The son, Judy, son of Christine Van Acker. So Van Acker is still alive, but unwilling to talk to reporters. But Judy has long pondered about his mother's story because of the quill marks on her wrist and law enforcement's quick closing of the case. He's a believer in the monster and defender of his mother. In the latest incident in May that we started this article off with, Mr. Faganus. Anyway, Judy admits that many of the incidents are fake, with drunkards pranking people in Bigfoot costumes, but the encounters are too much to discount. For example, Monroe sightings seem to be near marshes and railroad tracks, no matter what decade they take place.
I found another article with a little more info on it.
Go with it, and then I'm going to end this segment with American consumerism.
Police scoff at Monroe Monster, but crowds flock. Monroe, Michigan, UPI. Yes, sir, it's the greatest thing that's happened in Monroe since they put up the atomic power plant a few years ago. Roads leading into the area are jammed. Business is booming at local restaurants, motels, and service stations. They're coming from
Yes.
all over Michigan, said Police Sergeant Howard Cullen. Killen? The attraction, a 7-foot monster covered with black hair. Hang on, I can do this more old-timey. Police have said thousands of persons have been arriving here in the past few days to join in the hunt. Most of them are armed with tire irons and things like that, said Sergeant Cullen.
We'll beat them.
Authorities made it clear they think the whole thing is absurd. The hunt for the hairy monster of Monroe was sparked by a report from 17-year-old girl, Christine Van Acker, and her mother, Mrs. George Owens. They said the creature accosted them as they drove through the area last weekend. I screamed, and Christine screamed, said Mrs. Owens. I looked over at my daughter, and there was this huge hairy hand on top of her head. Christine, sporting a beaut of a black eye, said that the hairy thing clung to the car with one hand and to her hair with the other, before loping away through the woods. Another young girl showed red marks on her arms, as proof the monster dragged her away. Poison ivy, snorted the policeman. The gates to the Enrico Fermi atomic power plant near here were locked when extra guards were posted after members of a ragged vigilante band tramped over the power company's property in search of the monster. Several of the hunters said they believe the creature is a nuclear mutation spawned by the atomic plant. George Spilson, the owner of a drive-in restaurant, says he doesn't care what it is as long as it stays around. My car hops were a little perturbed by all the guns and baseball bats at first, said Spilson, but we're doing a Friday or Saturday night's business.
Yeah, that's what I was going to end this article on. So the Monroe monster seems to be an economic boon, a god of commerce for the people. Look at this. This is from when you were talking, the first monster craze that everyone's all like, this is a crazy boon. Look at this stuff. The gorilla-like monkey costume, the cops standing next to it, a monster fan club card, a sign that hung up at Jimmy's saying, reward for the capture alive of the monster, sirloin steak dinner for 2.
Wow. There's actually a Reddit comment under that article, because the article is a post that says, does anybody have any memories of the Monroe monster from 65? And the top comment says, holy shit, never thought I'd see this on Reddit. I'm only in my 30s, but I have some stories from my family. My grandfather may have seen the Monroe monster, all in good fun, according to my family. Edit, I've got a text out to my dad asking for more information, more to come. Edit 2, call dad. The whole attack part was made up, but my grandpa that passed before I was born, along with a friend who would hide in the cornfields in a costume and scare people for fun. I'm here to tell you the Monroe monster was very real and has plenty of monster family in the area.
So this goes on, as we've discussed, either through hoax or through real. People are seeing the monster up until probably this year in 2006, although I don't have any, I didn't look for articles because it's not of recent sightings. That's not the point of what we're talking here. Now, Monroe has 18 cannabis dispensaries, Jordan, and all of them are jumping on board, with one in particular near the Plum Creek sighting is Unique Cannabis, which hosted a sale for the Monroe monster, just like the steak dinner 60 years ago. Anyone who brought in photo evidence of the monster or Bigfoot would receive a free pre-rolled joint.
Yeah, dang, I'd be coming in with hair all day.
Hair all day, you're like, test it. That's not wolf hair, my man.
Test it.
It does say photo evidence, so they're not looking for, physical evidence, but still,
Yeah.
What do you want? Not evidence of Bigfoot? Test this hair I found.
Yeah. Yeah, I did what you asked.
What a wild time. Here's the picture. Unique also pays someone to dress up in a Bigfoot costume as well. And the town has a festival where Bigfoot / the Monroe monster is big. It's called Nomadic Nightmares.
Oh.
And it's a brand new festival that Monroe's doing. they want the monster to stay in town, like Noah says in this article. They are thriving with it. It is a cultural part. As someone who is American proper, like you Jordan, I feel in our eyes as an American, you're not an American. I'm sorry to say,
That's all
you
right.
know.
You guys are blowing it these days.
Yeah. Like you have a culture that like we feel we don't have here as a Scotsman, you have something that to hark back to.
Old stuff.
Yeah, like even me and my family is somewhat fresh, like I'm third generation, I think. Like we're new to America.
Right.
But I don't have those Germanic cultures. This is our culture. So it's nice to see Americans going, you know what our culture is? Bigfoot.
That is true. That is true.
And
Bigfoot
we
is
are
very
going
American.
to make a festival about Mothman's ass.
Yeah, that's
Bigfoot's
true.
big old dick, and we are going to be celebrating this for millennia.
That's really accurate. That's a really astute observation. Halloween too. We love us a monster.
And they're all very Americanized. Our movie monsters are what we worship. We don't have centuries of folklore to harken back to. We made it all up in the 70s and we're happy with it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's funny. I've never really thought about how American cryptids are, with the exception of Nessie. It's like there are cryptids all over the world, but in the top like 5, come on.
It's American. Everything else is like part of your ancient religion that we as Westerners try to destroy. It's not like us to where we're just throwing them out there.
Yeah.
Hat Man.
What about a snake with ladies' legs? Yep, that's out there too. And you all will see it if you follow me across this great nation.
As I hunt the sexy snake.
As I hunt the legs snake. That I saw in what I am certain was not a wood alcohol induced hallucination.
But I guess that then goes back to the beginning, which I started about. We had fun talking about American culture and our love of cryptids and what we do with it and the new American religion. But the quills, man.
The quills is really weird. So here's my thinking. Here's my thinking on this. If there's somebody lying out in a field, first of all, if this was your grandpa, that was assault, brother. He was that wasn't a prank. He gave that lady a black eye. He was attacking women. Second of all, if you're gonna scare people like this, no touchy. That's part of the first one.
No touchy.
This is the first rule of working at a haunted house. We don't touch. Anyway, secondly of all, if you're out there laying in a field, you're picking up detritus. If you rub up against a cactus and get quills in the suit, that might then get stuck to someone. Maybe it was one of those barbs that's covered in quills that stick to your pants, or
thistles
something.
And whatnot.
Yeah. This is shaking out to be a mean-spirited prank. In my opinion, but it is nonetheless a monster flap.
She said 400 pounds estimation.
She said that, which is initially
that is huge.
That is enormous. That's ridiculous. There's nothing.
And she was thrown around by them. That's what makes me go like, okay, so like misidentification, sure, they could be a bear,
right?
But the thistles. The quills, bears don't have quills either.
That's weird. That is weird.
That's the only evidence I have of this not all being fake, which it's already proved in every article that we've read from, that a bulk of these are just Michiganders having fun.
Did you know? I recently learned what people from Michigan are called, and it's insane.
What are they called?
Michiganders.
Anyway, I'll never speak of this godforsaken place again. It's dead to me. If you're a listener from Michigan, stop.
That's it. Good night, folks.
Good night.
No, please keep listening, Michiganders. We love you. We love your spooky cryptids, but Yeah,
Gray Road,
keep
baby.
it away. Keep it away
Monroe
from
Monster.
Roger. Guys, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Werewolf Radar. We love you deeply. And thank you for supporting us these many years. Tell your friends about the pod. Tell people to listen. We're having fun over here. If you really loved what we did here, check out our Patreon. You can help us out with a small monthly financial donation, and it will help keep the radar pinging. So until next time. Oh, also watch us on YouTube. Watch the YouTubes and share them.
We're picking up some steam there. We're over 1,000 subscribers. We're real YouTube citizens.
YouTube is TV and TV is dead. Until next time, folks, thank you once again for listening. Please join us in our sign-off line on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Punch the sky,
Spaceman Joe.